Hey guys, I'm Ivan.
And I'm Shawn.
And today we will be talking about government land sales. The past 2018 till today, what is impacting the prices right now?
So the price has been going higher and higher, and if you have not been keeping track in terms of Singapore land prices, this is the video you want to watch.
Let's go. So we're going to bring up this one chart to show everyone what's happening in the market here today. So over here, right, this is a chart of estimated minimum selling per square feet for the projects versus the date of our tender closing. So like you can see the projects names on the bottom, for example, PASIR 8, Copa and Newton, and the M, right? This is in the sequential order of when the date of tender closed.
Now we'll take note, of course, that since we indicated the minimum PSF they're going to sell is very different from, of course, what's their launch PSF. Therefore, for launch PSF, we notice actually there's pretty much a trend that most of them will actually launch at about 150 PSF to 200 PSF higher than what is the minimum PSF that they are supposed to sell it at.
So to give everyone some context, right, how we calculate this minimum PSF is we take the land price per square feet per plot ratio, then we add in a construction cost of roughly about $350, and then we mark up for some expenses by the developer in terms of like taking a loan, taxes, legal fees, admin expenses, and then the developer will need to make a minimum of like about 15% profits, right? This is how we get this estimated minimum PSF.
So what we've done is we've done a few color coding for you guys. So if it's blue color, it just means it's outside of central region. If it's red, means that it's the rest of central region. Of course, finally, orange means that it is the core central region itself.
Yeah, so when you look at the graph, right, if you look just purely based on the blue lines, which is like the OCR region, right, from 2018 to all the way to 2021, right, what you can clearly see is that the trend of the land bid prices is going up.
Actually, Ivan, I noticed that in 2019, 2020, I would say that it's still pretty acceptable in terms of the growth. We don't really see like what a 200-300 PSF increase from of course the minimum PSF. However, when I take a look at what's come up in 2021, that gets a bit scary for me.
Yeah, man. When you look at this Ang-Mo-Kio Avenue 1, right, it's going to be launching at a minimum of 1,800 plus per square feet. This is crazy for property in the Ang-Mo-Kio area. So having said this, right, this means that there may be an opportunity for the new launches that are being launched currently and before.
Just in context, I just want you guys to see the numbers over here. The Ang-Mo-Kio one is actually similar to the land price that, or basically the minimum price of Copa and Newton. So Newton and Ang-Mo-Kio now, actually the price point not so much different. So if you look at what Copa is selling today, do expect the rough same price point to come into Ang-Mo-Kio as well.
So the funny thing is, right, the market is pricing Ang-Mo-Kio and Newton area, right, to be roughly similar. So this is kind of my take is that there's a mismatch in the market values.
Yeah, I think the key here, of course, is that we all know that property prices is going to increase. Of course, recently the PASIR 8.
Why do you say of course?
What do I mean, of course?
Yeah.
Because very simply put it is that as the land price gets more and more expensive, the developer have no choice. It's no longer a choice. I want to sell you cheap or not. If they buy the land at a particular price point, at a high price point, there's no option but to sell it at a high price.
Yeah, so I think let me phrase it in another way. Is it okay?
Sure.
Yeah, so the main thing is that the price that the developers sell is just correlated to the cost that they acquire it for. Like if they're buying a piece of land at 1,000, right, cannot be they sell you at 800, right? Then the developer will be crazy. Yeah.
Correct, but I think the key thing here is to really understand if are we even at a property bubble. I think it's the key here, right? I think price can go higher, that's one thing, but will the price keep getting higher? And of course, the main indicator, as what Ivan has said, is to take a look at the land price. Therefore, I really want to focus into what has happening in 2021. What have the land prices actually been awarded? So of course, the last one was Ang-Mo-Kio, and the most recent one is actually Lentor. And Lentor was technically, or actually, is more expensive than Ang-Mo-Kio, which means that it's getting higher and higher, even though Lentor is just slightly further away than Ang-Mo-Kio, but it's actually more expensive.
Yeah, Lentor, the minimum PSF, right, is about 1,992. So it's going to be crazy. So I think this is where the market will be moving forward, and this sets the market.
and that puts it officially more expensive than Copa and Newton. That's how it is, right? But I think, of course, once again, given the high demand for new launches today, we are seeing it happening in PASIR 8, or 85% of the unit being sold out in one weekend. Developer did 6 times price hike in one weekend itself. I think this just shows the amount of pent-up demand for new launches. And we can also expect very successful so-called sell-out for the upcoming new launch as well.
Well, I would say that the Singapore private residential market is under a few combined trends. The number one trend is definitely because of COVID, right? People need bigger living space because a lot of us are working from home. And the other point is that because of the lockdown situation, right, it's more difficult to get foreign talents coming to Singapore. Yeah. And because of this, right, there's a rising construction cost and construction delay.
Yeah.
So this means like 2 factors. One is demand increasing and then supply slowing down.
You know, my take is this. I think I totally agree with the construction and everything. Okay, let's talk about demand, pent-up demand, right? Okay, so for those people who, of course, who want to look for a bigger place, most likely they go for resale lah, alright? But of course, for new launch itself, I think if you start noticing, actually, to make it more affordable, actually the unit sizing has been becoming smaller and smaller.
Yes.
Alright, and of course, not to mention, they have to wait for 5 years usually now for it to even TOP.
So what if the unit like getting smaller and like it's taking longer to build? So what?
So what? It just means that, of course, in this scenario, it just gets. I think it's two impact. Number one, it gets actually more expensive to buy a new launch indirectly because why? You need a place to stay. It means likely you're going to rent at a place for a longer period of time. Okay. Number two is that I think Singaporeans are, although they need a bigger space, but they're kind of also adapting and understanding that unit prices moving forward, unit sizes moving forward will become smaller and smaller. And so the key here is over this is that I think that's the only option available today for developers to keep it affordable, especially when we are living, or in Singapore, we are living in a place where there's TDSR. So no matter what, we are limited to how much we can borrow. So I think units are just going to get smaller.
Yeah. So Shawn, what is the key takeaway for today's session?
The key takeaway very simple. I think land price, guys, is just going to get higher. If you think that property price today is high, don't be surprised in 2023, especially 2023, because usually we see the chart once again, it takes approximately about 2 years from land or tender award all the way down to so-called launch. Longest being 3 years. That means PASIR 8 took about 3 years to do that. So in 2023, that is when you probably see the next very big hike in new launch prices. Therefore, this once again serves as a small little opportunity for the current new launch in the market. So you might want to take a look at that rather than perhaps waiting for the upcoming 2023, because that's going to be more insane prices. However, please do your own due diligence to also please compare it with the resale market surrounding it. So once again, if the new launch prices compared to the new resale surrounding it have a very big price difference, then perhaps you might be better off looking at the resale market. But of course, if you see that, hey, you know what, the price is pretty similar, then that might then serve an opportunity for you to enter into the new launch market.
So guys, I hope you learned something from this video. If you do, right, please make sure you subscribe and give us a thumbs up for this video. So once again, I'm Ivan.
And I'm Shawn.
And we'll see you soon. Bye.